What is up, Sopranos fans? Kino here, and I'm back with another Soprano log. Today we're going to be looking at Down Neck, which is the 7th episode of the first season. Now this episode really revolves around the relationship between father and son. So AJ's relationship with Tony, and then Tony's relationship with his own father, Johnny Boy, who we're introduced to in this episode through flashback. So the episode opens with AJ and his friends stealing some sacramental wine from their church. So the school they go to is a religious Catholic school. So they have church, activities going on there. They steal some wine to drink. And there's a really funny line. One of the friends asks if they're going to confess what they've done. And then AJ says that he's going to confess that he stole something, but not what. And it's this real technicality of Catholicism that I've always found really funny. You're supposed to be taking this really seriously. This is your religion and your morality, but there's all these rules and technicalities that people use to skirt around things. We see the same thing later on with Paulie thinking he can get away from hell and demons and stuff by donating money to the church. It's just a very technical and loophole system that I've always just found really funny about Catholicism. AJ and his friends get caught. One of the friends pukes on one of the teachers. Tony and Carmela get called into the office. The school thinks that AJ might have ADD. This is a pattern of behavior where he's been getting into trouble, and they want to have him tested for ADD. Now, obviously, Tony and Carmela are worried about this. While they're waiting for the test, they also decide to punish AJ. They take away his Nintendo, computer, all that fun stuff. And they also make him go visit Livia in the nursing home. And it's during this visit that AJ reveals that his father goes to see a psychiatrist. Now, Livia learning this information is a very important plot point. This is how Junior is going to find out later, and that's going to be the excuse he gives to why he tries to kill Tony. So it's a very important plot point that this information is now revealed to Livia, who's going to reveal it to Junior later. Now, meanwhile, while this is happening, Tony is wondering, is AJ's behavior connected to his? And does AJ know about the mafia and that Tony's involved in it? It's funny, we see in the scene where the psychiatrist is talking to them that Tony demonstrates a lot of the same symptoms that AJ's demonstrating. His lack of paying attention, his impulsivity, no regard for the consequences of his actions. So we can definitely see a parallel between Tony and AJ, whether that's genetic or if it's just AJ kind of mirroring his father. But all of this also reminds Tony of his own childhood growing up. And this is the first time we actually get a flashback to 1967. We get to see his father, Johnny Boy, for the first time. We're introduced to him. We've heard about him, but this is the first time we see him actually on screen. We're also introduced to Janice for the first time, and the child actress they have for Janice is incredible. She just has this naturally just mean, bitchy look to her, which is just perfect for Janice. So great casting on that part. But Tony remembers a couple of incidents from his childhood. The first is he sees his father beating up some guy that owes him money. And this is the first time that Tony ever realized that his dad was not a normal dad, that he was involved in some bad stuff. And then later on, we see an incident where Johnny Boy took Janice to an amusement park without Tony. And Tony feels really hurt by this. He feels left out. So he follows them. And then eventually he finds out that this amusement park is actually a meeting for wise guys. And the dad brought Janice with him as basically cover so he could go meet with his associates and discuss their business. The cops eventually show up and arrest them all. And this is the first time that Tony actually really sees that, oh shoot, my dad is a criminal. He's involved with all this bad stuff. Oh, one slight little note here. When Tony is running away from these black kids after he throws a candy bar on the floor, one of those kids is actually Michael B. Jordan. So he would go on to become really famous. But this is I think one of his very first appearances on TV. And yeah, so the episode really revolves around that relationship of father and son, and does the son follow the father? Tony obviously followed his father into the mafia, which he is not super happy about. He recounts this incident where his dad, Johnny Boy, wanted to leave the mafia and go to Reno to go with this guy, Rocco Alatorre. It's actually the guy he beat up at the beginning of the episode, but Livia would not allow him to go. And Tony thinks about, how different his life could have been. His father could have gotten out of the mafia. Tony obviously would not have followed his father, and they could have had a relatively normal life. And he blames Livia for that. He has this great line where he says, if you had been born after the feminists, you would have been the real gangster, which is definitely true. Livia is one of the smartest, most conniving characters on the show. The fact that she was born a woman, just really held her back, because she could have been someone great, because she just has that mind, that scheming, evil mindset to help her get anywhere she wants to be. And she definitely uses that against Tony later this season. So yeah, really good episode. I'm really glad we got a chance to explore AJ and Tony's relationship. We can definitely see the father and son love between the two of them that unfortunately will not always be there. But yeah, definitely great episode. And stay tuned next time for the next Soprano log, coming soon.